Julian Iosifescu'yu alkışlarınızla sahneye davet ediyorum.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Julian Iosifescu. I'm the Global Director for the Data Center Group at Baltimore Coil. And today, I know it's a lunchtime. I hope to provide you useful information that you can use during your daily projects of data center. And also, I like to mention that it was a hard decision for me, supposed to be in Singapore, a data center world, but I'm glad that I made the decision to come to Istanbul. It's a very well-organized event. And it's an honor for me to participate, and I like to thank Marmara Fuarcilic for organizing the quality event, and also Sevinch Altindal, she did a good job. And a little bit about myself. Born and raised in Romania. I left Romania 21 years ago. I moved to Canada. I'm a Canadian citizen as well. And after 11 years in Canada, 10 years ago, I moved to the US together with my family. But what I discovered during those days, so for me, I was in Istanbul 35 years ago. It was a very well surprise how I discovered the city, well developed, nice people, and I discovered that our Romanian culture, is the closest, is the Turkish culture, the food, the culture, how we interact with people, I felt at home. So today we will discuss about what's going on in this data center world. It's in a profound transformation, and since in my 31 years of experience as a mechanical engineer working as global director, VP of sales, country manager for several companies. Before Baltimore Coil, I worked for many years at Danfoss. Back in Romania, I was country manager. I worked for Nortec. I worked for Munters, which is another good name. I worked for a company out of Switzerland called Condair, open up new markets, open up new vertical markets. And 16 years ago, I discovered data center. It was an amazing experience. It's my regret I didn't discover early in my career, because it's a field that you'll never get bored. There are so many changes, so many new things appearing every single day that it's, as I said, makes this field extremely interesting. I hope that I speak slow enough. I don't know if it would be a translation in Turkish English language, but I try to be as clear as possible. So, a little bit about Baltimore Coil. It's a very well-established company started by a Russian immigrant who moved to the US 100 years ago. His name was John Galichev. And the interesting fact that his family sold all their belongings to make money to send John at university, where he became a very good mechanical engineer. And he started, after graduation, he started Baltimore Coil. For the moment, we have 89 patents, half of them evaporative cooling. It's part of a large group called Amstead Industry, and we are providing a full range of cooling solution, open cooling tower, closed circuit cooling tower, any kind of fluid cooler, plus immersion cooling for data centers. Also, we are using AI to optimize the loop and to make it as efficient as possible in terms of electricity consumption, water consumption. Today, we will cover data center trends, how this industry arrived at this stage. We discuss about liquid cooling evolution, key consideration, conclusion, and any question you have, feel free at the end of the presentation to ask and to discuss. So this is what happened recently in a data center. So on the black color, you see the load for data storage. Blue color is the data computing. So traditionally, those buildings their purpose was to store data. You know, all our files, OneDrive, Microsoft is somewhere in a building, and we need to access those information. But now with the AI, it's a different purpose, so processing the data. So this data center application and usage, it's something between the classic data center and Bitcoin mining. It's a different animal now, the data center. And the business opportunity is this exponential growth of the blue line graph. And this is where we need to adapt and to know how to handle those different loads of the IT. You see as a hockey stick, the increase in the density. So 2 kW per rack was the norm for many years. Move slowly to 5 kW per rack, move to 30 kW per rack in 2020, but in the last 5 years right now, NVIDIA is talking about 600 kW per rack. This is a different animal. People think, wow, it's great. Yes, we agree that it's great, but produce a domino effect on the entire infrastructure. You cannot cool in a traditional way a 6 kW per rack. Doesn't matter how cold is the air. You blow the air through the rack, and the rack is too hot. And if you don't cool it down, it melts it down. So we will discuss in a mirror the classic data center, air-cooled data center versus liquid-cooled data center, where you can find a lot of business opportunities, you can find a lot of challenges, and the winners will be people who are going to sort out this challenge fast. And this is the time to reposition the market. And as a matter of fact, why I consider Turkey is in the best location of doing this is, first of all, is the geographical position. It's strategic between Asia and Europe. There is nobody in the world positioned like Turkey in the world. Another factor, I visited the hall next door. I've been amazed about green energy. There is nowhere, no other place in the world with the amount of developments of green energy. I 3 weeks ago, I delivered a speech in Barcelona. They do a lot of things also. They are also some leaders into the market, but I see Turkey coming strong in this position, and this is something very encouraging regarding this, because this market, in Europe at least, to give you, used to be very classic: Frankfurt, London, Amsterdam, Paris. This was the classic data center location. It's a different landscape. It's like playing cards. Somebody shuffled the cards again. It's a different game. And now it's a very good opportunity for Turkey to position strategically in this data center industry. So those are the technology: classic computer room air handling unit, direct evaporative cooling. We have rear door, which is a transition technology. We have cold plates, and we will discuss about immersion cooling. I use a lot of visual aids, a lot of picture to make it clear and easy to understand. So we have direct evaporative cooling, which is a big box on the roof of the building. Most of the time, it's a ventilation project. So you bring fresh air in the building, you go through the cold aisle, through the racks, exhaust it through the hot aisle. And in the summer, there is a evaporative media that is getting wet and cool down the data center. But very simple, a classic cloud provider used this basis of design for the last 8-9 years. But there is extremely low PUE, very efficient data center. But the problem with this direct is that you cannot control the humidity. It's very humid day out there. You bring the humidity inside. despite the fact the new standard is between 8 and 80%, still you are at the mercy of the weather. And the second thing, you must filter the air. And if we discuss about large data center, I've seen data center like this entire exhibition center talking about 1.5 million CFM. Imagine how to filter 1.5 million CFM, how much you have to spend on those filters. Next technology is computer room air handling unit. It's a very well-established technology, very robust supply chain. Basically, you install a box in your data center with a fan and a coil, and you cool the data center. But these are the pros, and the cons, still you need a chiller. You cannot work without a chiller, and I will discuss later why the chiller now became the bad guy. And as I said, after that, it was a new evolution. They installed hot tile, cold tile containment to segregate the supply and return and to increase the delta T. This is the evolution of the density inside the data center. So basically, started 3 kilowatt per rack using computer room air handling unit, using computer room air conditioning units. After they reached the limit, they introduced the containment, hot tile, cold tile containment. And the perimeter in-row coolers, they start to have in-row coolers. Next step, together with the containment. After that, the industry step in the hybrid solution, like rear door, it's a hybrid solution. So rear door basically combining the CRO unit with a rack level. And this was, the next step was pure liquid cooling with cold plates and immersion cooling. But this evolution, what happened during the last 6 months, happened extremely fast. I promise a lot of pictures. So right now, on the left side, we have an air-cooled data center, which you need a chiller. You cannot get rid of the chiller. And the problem with the chiller, let's face it, it's a very economical. The price per ton is very good. But the purpose of this building is data computing, data storage. You are not in a business of cooling. So to keep cooling, to keep electrical power for cooling just in case that in the middle of the summer you have very hot days, it's a waste. You want to free electrical power from the chiller to use for your core business, which is IT storage, IT computing, and so on. So now, the great benefit of eliminating the chiller and getting in the free cooling, this is the terminology of the industry, free cooling. Of course, it's not free since you are still using some fans and pumps, but when you get rid of the compressor, which represents 90% of the electricity, is almost free. So now, you see that the chiller, as I said, became the bad guy in the room. With the liquid cooling with the cold plates, this is an example, the temperature range, when you operate in the range of 28 Celsius, you don't need a chiller. You can use a fluid cooler to cool the water, let's say from 38 down to 28 or 35 down to 28. You don't need a chiller. Those are some pictures regarding rear door transition technology. We have cold plates where you go to this, it's not chill water, it's cool water. You go some very fine tubes directly to the chip. And on the left side, on the right side, you have immersion cooling, single phase. We don't want to waste time talking about two-phase immersion. Was already covered yesterday, but a company that I've seen, they have a booth about. So single-phase immersion leading now the game. Rear door heat exchanger, it's a very simple technology, but the problem is again the chiller. It's a very good method if you already have a data center to retrofit and to switch from air cool to increase the density per rack. It's a very good technology, easy to retrofit. You can scale, as I said, it's something that, and also I don't have time to get in details, can be active rear door. You have some fans, or passive. You use the fans of the servers. The next technology is the cold plate is leading the game right now. So you get this cool water, cold water, and you go directly to the chip. It's good for retrofit. There are a lot of benefits. It's well supported by the server manufacturers. Most of them they support. But there is a big problem. So I've seen, and the operation manager describe it as a plumbing nightmare. You see thousands of little tubes going directly to the chip, and you have a manifold combining everything, going to a called cooling distribution unit. And the problem is still you cannot completely eliminate the space cooling. Why? Because you want to avoid condensation. So that air in the data center, if it's too hot and humid, you reach the dew point and you have water inside your rack, which it's nobody wants to have water inside the rack. So this is the cold plate. Now we have immersion cooling, single phase, very simple. You see, you have a fluid cooler on the roof, could be dry, as yesterday one of the speakers mentioned, but if you want to avoid the peak, in this dry cooler you can install pads where you wet those pads and the air before hitting the coil go through these wet pads and to increase. So basically now the unit is driven by the wet bulb temperature versus the dry bulb temperature. So those are some technicalities. The beautiful part regarding our proposal for immersion, this industry is like a religion. Seeing means believing. I can show you very nice pictures, very nice presentation. People, my customer, and I'm dealing right now with the big five, cloud provider, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Apple, and Meta. Now they call it Magnificent Seven. They add NVIDIA and Tesla. People say, show me. I want to see. I want to see something deployed. Julian, we have good relationship. We are friends. Show me. And we are able to show them. I will show you later some pictures. Now it's another metric that you have to take in consideration. So for the last 25 years, everyone talking about PUE, power usage effectiveness. But right now, the industry discovered that it's a false metrics. Why? Because we have those 20% energy consumption wasted by the fans. And they are considered IT load. It's not IT load. So with the immersion cooling, you are able to use this 20% for your core business, which is data storage, data computing. So the terms, the KPI right now in the industry is called total usage effectiveness, which give you a more accurate picture of your data center, how efficient. So we have the total facility load divided by compute load, not the IT load, and now you know exactly how efficient is your data center. And right now, with the new animal of the data center that, as I said, is not for data storage, in data storage, historically talking, a data center which has 75% occupancy rate was amazingly well done. So most of the data center colocation enterprise have 50% occupancy. Now, with AI processing, you need the full capacity. Maybe you need for only 20 minutes at noon, but you need the entire capacity of data center to be able to use it. So those details are extremely important. Right now, the sites around the world, so they are talking about 1 gigawatt site. To give you an idea, what does it mean, 1 gigawatt site? I was in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I called my customer, and I said, I'd like to visit your site to give you the idea what kind of buildings. Said, give me the address. I said, go south on the highway. Said, go south. After 10 minutes, look at your right. At the right was a mega building. Gentlemen, ladies, this is not a joke. You see a building 6 times like this exhibition center, 6 times. This what we are talking. So this was a data center, 140 megawatts, 140. And now they build 1 gigawatt. Wow. So 7 times bigger. Those are big animals. Those are big animals. I'm telling you, with 1 gigawatt, my view that with 6, 8 buildings like that means the entire energy consumption of Istanbul. All other industry, all the residential, everything together, this is the magnitude that we are talking about. Those buildings are massive. So if you are able to increase the efficiency with 2%, means millions in your pocket. So it's not a joke. This is a Champions League. This is Champion League. This is not Super League, is the Champions League. Winning the Champions League this is the game. And who is going to be smart at the country level? Who is going to be smart at the efficiency level, water consumption? They will be the winners. I'm telling you right now, it's exactly the time in the history. Never happened before in data center. When a smart country, a smart company realizing the importance of the moment and doing the right thing right now will be the leader for the next 20, 30 years, period. It's something bigger than you think. 16 years ago when I started this, people said, we are covered 3%. I was laughing. I said, what a good joke. I said, we are covered 97% regarding data center. That guy 16 years ago was right. My opinion, the coverage of the data center right now in the market is around 10%. So it's 90% ahead of us. So right now, those big 5 talking about 1 gigawatt site, 1 gigawatt site. This you like to see, we have, I mentioned, seeing means believing. We have 4 megawatt immersion cooling unit already installed in operation for now 7.5 years. We have 300 tanks where you can see it, where you can discuss with the operators. So it's a real project. This guy who started was a brave guy. Even he didn't have dedicated servers. He said, I don't care about the warranty. He dismantled the fence and put those servers in the fluid. And the results are amazing. The failure rate is 5 times less. 5 times less. So this is the tank. It's very simple. We have 2 pumps. The heat exchanger is incorporated in the tank. So the fluid is moving from the bottom to the top and cool down. It's very uniform cooling. So the major failure in any data center is the hotspots. Hotspots kill the servers. If you are able to find a way to uniformly cooling the servers, this is the winning, and the liquid and this mineral oil dielectric fluid, this is the best way of doing it. Outdoor, you don't need a chiller. As I mentioned, you have only closed circuit cooling tower, which is free cooling. And it's in operation for several years. So it's extremely simply designed, low first cost, easy to scale up, works with any types of servers. As I said, now there are dedicated manufacturers providing those kind of servers. You don't need to take the risk. The fluid temperature is in the range of the fluid cooler, not a chiller, and you can save 80% on the cooling system because, as I mentioned, eliminating the chiller is the big. And you don't need the space cooling at all. In the room, you can have 30, 35 degrees, nobody cares. about the space. And it's very quiet as well. So right now, all my customers, they look for 3 targets. You know that in a normal world, so they want to kill 3 birds with 1 stone. In a normal world, any cooling manufacturer, they said if you increase the water consumption, you decrease the energy, and the other way around. So it's a trade. Right now, people say, no, you want 3 targets with the same unit. The only way is to think outside the box. Doing things as we did, we cannot progress. This is the secret. We need to think outside of the box to do it. As I said, we need to be agile and to understand the importance of the moment. People and the countries who don't understand the importance of the moment will be the losers. You have the entire portfolio of heat rejection, any kind of fluid cooler you like, with a lot of water, open cooling tower, with no water, dry coolers, with a little bit of water, adiabatic. Now we have hybrid. Depends now the peak you want with a little bit of water in the summer and very low annual water consumption, or you can afford the high peak of consumption, maybe July, August, we have it. Please feel free. We have a distributor in Istanbul if you like to discuss about those heat rejection solution. And this is whatever you can see. It's a very good graph to play with this water. So on the left side, you have dry cooler. We have the largest dry cooler in a factory assembled. So basically, this one, to give you an idea, it's a big box, 15 meters long and 7.5 meters tall. It's a big unit. This is not a toy. It's like a 2-story house, the unit we are talking. And we are deploying. To tell you the magnitude of the project, we have project where they have 560 units like that on one site, one building. 560. Imagine the size of the building and the size. So as I mentioned, it's Champions League here. The project we are talking, and who is going to be smart at the country level, at the customer level to win this race of AI, those people will lead the game, because you cannot build up those buildings overnight. Those projects takes 5-6 years. The smart customer, they came to us and we have forecast and we have delivery schedule for 2027, 2028, and now we are working for 2030. And there are customers dreaming, and they said, I will call you when I will need them. Ha, ha, ha. 6 months, hey, I need 60 units. What? Yes, 2032. What? Other people worked 1 year ago. This is not a product that you order on Amazon and expect tomorrow delivery. So people are not aware about many countries. They say, let's manufacture. Let's do a steel mill. Let's do textile. And people said, yes, next week we will have it made in that country. I came from Romania. Romania had an amazing industry. We started delivering in 85, but the plant started in 1965. What? Was 20 years of preparation. This means when you prepare a country, when you prepare an industry, people saying next day, you are wondering, where did you live? How did you survive, my friend? You have zero knowledge about an industry, about a factory. As a matter of fact, my very first job was in a factory in a little town near Bucharest, where is owned by Arçelik right now. Beko is the name of the factory in Găiești, Romania. 5,000 employees, we manufacture 3,000 freezer and refrigerators per day. When I told my colleagues in the US, said, Julian, wait a minute, it's per month. I said, what? It's per day. We manufacture 1,000 units per shift. Wow. To do this kind of operation, it's a lot of thinking. It's a lot of money. You cannot do it overnight. This is data center. You can do it, but be smart 5 minutes before other people. So this is regarding selecting the right partners, people with experience. It's crucial. You don't want to be a guinea pig. You want somebody who knows what's talking about. You need to have a global capacity. We have plants all over the world. We have factory in Italy, we have factory in Belgium, we have factory in China, we have factory in South Africa, all over the world. If the industry is booming in Turkey, we're very willing to buy or to build up a factory here. Why not? To have the entire product portfolio. The customer in data center, they always want some customization. You cannot sell standard product. Agility, flexibility, as I mentioned, 3 targets: low energy, low water, low CO2 emission. This is whatever I mentioned about the global footprint. We know what we are doing. We have sales forces and service forces all over the world. We are working with those global customers. We have projects with those. To tell you this, in Singapore, this must be in Discovery mega project. It's a building of 140 megawatts, but the beautiful, it's multi-story and you'd have no equipment around the building. Imagine the structure. We have 47 huge cooling tower. They have around 25, the largest chiller in the world. They have generators, they have tanks. I think a tank, top of my head, only the tank for fluid, it's around 75 ton, and they have around 40. So it's a mega building. In Washington State, it's for a cloud provider, 192 units, chillerless. We have in Germany, we have in Belgium only with open cooling towers. And in conclusion, you must be prepared for high density. You must be prepared for liquid cooling. As I said, for high density, to work with NVIDIA and other GPU manufacturers, you need to be prepared. Those are my contact information. Feel free to ask any question. Feel free to come to us with any questions you have, any project you have. And you have received a very fair consultation. If it's not our cup of tea, we can tell you up front that to go somewhere else. Thank you for your time.